You mentioned in the CC statement that spoke to the strike that if you do not speak now or stand now, history will judge you harshly. What is it that is the worst case scenario that Cosatu imagines South Africa could deal with if indeed nothing is done? That this message, that these cries for help and these protests do not draw the message home. What is the worst case scenario in Cosatu's analysis for this country?
Either is a mafia state where is going to be the survival of the fittest. That would be the end of the trade union if that happens. Or you get a dictatorship. Somebody, maybe somewhere in the army, says this can't be allowed to happen, or I need to take power and do it for my own. Why should I be the commander of the army and not have all these resources when other people are stealing? And then you got a coup, and democracy is gone. So we're back to square one. The struggle will be of a different nature, but what people will then do, they will then read the history and say, where were the others when this happened? And said, if you can show them, I think they will spit on the graves of those who were there and said you did nothing. Because sometimes what we're supposed to do now is not for our own interests, it's for the future generation. They will be asking, why did you allow this to happen in dealing with those issues? When we hear that our great-grandfather and all those things were so afraid of white people that they will not walk in the pavement, the new generation does not understand. They think they were too afraid. They said, what kind of a person that when another person was coming, you would rather be knocked off by a car rather than standing firm in dealing with those issues? And the many of people did not stand on those issues, but when you got people like Steve Biko and others who were refusing to do that one, and they paid a heavy price, there were others joining and says, in the name of that one, we cannot allow to happen. The same thing of the Black Lives Matters were the same things. People have been killed every time, but it takes one straw on the people and say enough is enough in dealing with those things. So we wish we will not go to the situation where everything is reversed because some people are doing something so bad that others resort to power to correct some other thing.
In Cosatu's analysis, have we reached the point where we can say South Africa is a failed state?
I think we were going there. We're not there as yet, in our view, because there are a lot that can be still done that can be able to save our government and create jobs. There are many fundamental things that are in good place in dealing with those particular issues. So we're not there that we can then regard that we're just a failed state in dealing with this. We're making sometimes wrong choice, right decision, fail to implement or implement them, and then we got ministers working in isolation. The attempt to put them in cluster was trying to avoid that we can do some other good things in dealing with those issues. Despite our problem on health system, for an example, but we came out of the West because there were other things that were coordinated better, and they did work better in dealing with those issues. So if you are taking some other department, you can say, no, South Africa is excelling here, is excelling there, is excelling. There's a combination of those issues. But when we do fail, we fail in a manner that we are regarded just to be a total failure.